here in the Sports Lounge, we turn to college football now of the BCS variety. A couple good games this weekend. LSU, they travel to West Virginia, continue their hellish type schedule. Do they continue
Pretty nasty start
on this roll here? It seems like every week they play a different ranked team, and they've yet to play at home.
I think they'll. I think they'll beat West Virginia. I think West Virginia under Holgerson, their new coach, I think they'll be all right, but they'll kind of be like they've been the past few years, where a lot of times they'll look like they'll be really good and be high in the preseason and then lose to someone they shouldn't and never quite get back up to the same spot. I think it'll probably it'll be a fairly close game score-wise, but be a game where it's not as close as the score indicates, because I just don't think West Virginia is going to be able to score more than 10 or 13 points. And I think LSU can at least get, 20 or 24 or so.
I think West Virginia can feed off of having LSU at home, big crowd. But I think you're right. I think LSU is better. It'll be a 10, 13-point win, or the game will not be that close.
I've talked about it rather. The notion of sort of it being tough to win on the road, and that's kind of been seems like it's been disproven a little bit so far with these top tier teams. Therefore, I like LSU. They're already battle tested, so I think being thrust into West Virginia is not as big of a test as maybe it would be for a different team. I like LSU.
Oklahoma State and Texas A&M, a pair of top 10 Big 12 teams. A couple teams, is it fair to say that they're probably a little bit overrated compared to where they're going to be at the end of the season?
I think talent-wise they're a little bit overrated. There's a good chance conference-wise they could be overrated through the bowl season, possibly. Because I think the Big 12's good at the top, like a lot of the other conferences, but really gets bad after the top, 4 teams or so. But, I think if you want to watch an exciting game, I think this would probably be a good one to pick. Neither team's really great defensively. They're both very good offensively. It should be a classic, 06, 07, 08 Big 12 game where it's, they both score in the 40s. But I think A&M will get the W.
Yeah, I will take A&M too. I don't trust the Oklahoma State defense at this point, so that's my rationale.
And I haven't trusted Oklahoma State's defense for years, and I think that does not bode well for your prospects of winning in a tough road environment at Texas A&M. I like Texas A&M.
I don't think I've trusted Oklahoma State's defense since Kevin Williams got drafted.
And he was the only spotlight there, so.
Florida State, coming off their loss at home to number 1 Oklahoma. They traveled to Clemson. Clemson stepped up for once, beat Auburn in a very entertaining game. Do they come back to the pack this week or not?
For me, if either one of those two teams were playing anyone else, I would say it would be a loss for both of them. Florida State, we lost. We were so high and up for that game, and it's unfortunate we lost, that they kind of have a letdown game. Clemson, same thing, but for the opposite reason. Beat the longest win streak team in the country, defending national champions. Letdown game because, they were up so high and they finally won, beat someone. They played up to their talent level. But obviously, I have to pick one of them to win. They can't both lose. So I'm going to go with Florida State because I think they're more talented than Clemson, and that's really my only reason.
I'll take Florida State because of Charlie's reasoning that Clemson will be in a letdown. But Auburn was up 14-0 against Clemson. Take a good Florida State team. If Clemson does that again, that ball game is over. And I'll take Florida State on the road. Clemson, again, notorious underachievers in the ACC.
That kind of bows into my point. Is the day? This is not the day where I'm going to take Clemson to win 2 huge games consecutively back to back, even if it is at home. And I still think Florida State is really good. And they lost to the number 1 team in the country last week, and it was a closely contested game. I like Florida State.
I'll put it this way. Clemson rolled up 600 yards against Auburn. Florida State looked pretty good defensively against Oklahoma. I don't think they're going to get 600 yards against Florida State.
How does Wyoming get Nebraska to travel to Wyoming?
That is a fantastic question that I think many people looking at their schedules will want.
I think Wyoming has a pretty big fan base.
They do. They
played Texas
a few years ago.
I honestly think it is like a 2 or 3 for 1.
That's what I'm assuming.
3 trips to Lincoln, and they're getting this one game. And It might have either been a home and home with Texas and Wyoming or a 2-for-1. Wyoming willing to play these road games to get one big game at home, and good for them. I hope they play well. They're not going to win.
I mean, you get a team that doesn't have. I mean, I know they don't normally. I don't know how great their fan base is. I know they don't normally sell out their stadium though. And you get a big game like that though, where everybody, this is the biggest game we've played in 2, 3, 5 years or whatever. That's a great way to make some cash.
Yeah.
That's how they got it, the whole 2-for-1. I mean, I got 2 12-packs a pop for the price of one just on Saturday.
They get you in the door.
I don't know why you wouldn't do it.
They get you in the door.
They get me in the door. It's got me in the door.
Here's the thing about Wyoming. If you dislike people, you love Wyoming. That state is as
The
bare.
least populated state in the country.
Yes.
And if you dislike colors, you would like Wyoming's uniforms with brown and yellow.
And white.
And white.
And white.
Brown and yellow. I mean, I'm not a color aficionado, but if I was going to come up with, two striking jersey colors, I wouldn't think, let's put poo-poo and pee-pee together.
Hey, the Oregon of the Midwest.
The Oregon of the Midwest. Okay? North Dakota State.
They're not in the Midwest.
Okay, here's the deal with the Midwest. If you think Ohio's in the Midwest,
Ohio's
you're
not
wrong.
in the Midwest.
Shut the hell up.
It's true. I agree with the Ohio stuff. Therefore,
As long as this conference realignment's going on, let's realign the regions of the country as well.
agree. As far as I'm concerned, Wyoming's Midwest.
Agreed.
Good.
They're mountainy, I would say.
Mountain West?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Good. Anything west of Pier, don't care. North Dakota State and Minnesota.
Oh, boy.
Do the Bison do it again?
I mean, actually, we got to let you lead off with this.
The Gophers
Poor soul to you.
have to win this game because I just can't. That terrible fan base of NDSU will never let this down again. They haven't let down the 2007 win they had. I think it's 2007, where they just marched all day over the Gophers. And
Tyler Rail.
Like 270 yards rushing. Gophers are.
I don't mean to try to make fun of your Gophers, but actually, if you look at how good North Dakota State was offensively that game,
they were really good.
But no, I mean, if you just look at their stats, it's surprising they didn't win by more than they did.
It is. And then the year before, they lost on a field goal, blocked field goal at the end of the game. Gophers, I think the offense is the difference in this game. Hopefully, I don't know if DJ McNorton back for NDSU. I know he's out. That'll make a difference. He's a really good running back, and I think he can change the game for NDSU. Because if they're forced to pass, I don't like their chances against the Gophers.
I'll agree with that. If they don't get the running game going, then they won't win. And looking at this as objectively as I can, I do like the Gophers in this one.
I'm going to go a little off kilter here. Struggled with South Dakota State, lost to USD. They've lost to North Dakota State and struggled with North Dakota State.
New Mexico.
They need to quit scheduling teams from the Dakotas because it doesn't go well. So I'm going to go with they're going to keep that up and they're going to lose to the Bison.
And that actually is a big point of discontent this week is why are the Gophers still scheduling these Dakota teams? Because they're clearly not having any success against them.
That's a good point.
When you pay a school, $600,000 for a free game, or for a game to come in and you to try to fill out your stadium and get an easy W, and then they come in and beat you.
Well, these teams that come in,
you wouldn't want to schedule them anymore.
And then these teams that come in are sort of, you don't want to call them Gophers rejects, but again, a portion of it is the same recruiting base, and so a lot of it's that there's that element to it there where guys are psyched up to play a team like that who with supposedly superior athletes on it.
Looking now at the NFL, Detroit plays at Minnesota. Detroit 2-0, Minnesota 0-2.
Who would have thought that 3 years ago?
Yeah, Detroit, a 4-point favorite at the Metrodome. First time they've been a favorite at Minnesota since 1980. Minnesota won that game 26-24. Is that any different this year?
I think it'll be close. The Lions are probably going to win this game. I mean, they're just better than the Vikings at almost every spot. Maybe offensive line, it's a tie. I don't know. But
I think the Vikings' passing game is almost dysfunctional. So I think you have to. You can't rush AP 32 times a game.
If only they had a running back. Oh wait, they do.
They do, and what do you want? What do you want the Vikings to do? Do you want them to rush AP 35 times a game?
Yep.
For
They rushed him 25.
And then what do you do after the sixth game of the year when he's broken that?
That's fine.
So you just really want to go all in to beat the Lions this week.
Well, just more carries. The guy wants it. He's built like a brick blank house, and I'm telling you what. If he wants the ball and you gave him the millions that you just gave him a couple weeks ago, you run him to win the game.
Well, I hate to hurt your two Minnesota guys' feelings. I'll be Our
straight
with
feelings
this.
were hurt.
I'll be straight with
Did
this,
I
though.
just pick the Lions?
That's true.
Okay.
You did.
You're the-
I think the Lions will win. I think to me, and this is more based off last year because it doesn't appear the Lions have played. I think the Buccaneers are okay. I think it looks like the Chiefs are awful though. But I think the Lions' worst, their biggest weakness is going to be their pass defense, which unfortunately the Vikings are not that great at passing it. So that kind of plays into what the Lions I think would want to do defensively. I don't think they're gonna, it's gonna be as bad as it was last week when they beat the Chiefs. But I think the Lions will win.
Well, I think the Lions are legitimately good. The Vikings lose is okay. The Lions are good, but I don't think the Vikings are very good. And I wonder. Leslie Frazier, I wonder if there's the improvement over Childress there. I mean, I know it's early
creepers,
yet. I know it's earlier yet, but they're still kind of having the same problems as they have.
It's like comparing your beard to mine.
Well, who's the winner?
Me? I'm Frazier. He's Childress.
The only way, beards.
I grew this, I don't know, between commercial breaks, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I bought my beard online.
As you mentioned.
The best chance for the Vikings to win this game is to keep it close and then hope that Matthew Stafford steps on the back line of the end zone at the end towards the end of the game, and the Vikings win by 2.
So
slightly more realistic. I'll just go with try to establish the running game and force a few turnovers from the Lions, because usually in the NFL, if you can win the turnover battle, you have a great chance of winning the game.
Oh wait, they won it last week, and what happened? They lost again, son of a bitch.
1-0.
It's not like the lottery. It's not a 100% chance
no,
to win.
It's pretty good. Detroit, they have not won at Minnesota since 1997, so they got that going for them. Probably going to break that this week.
Oh man, you Vikings fans, just you have
went
beyond the point where you have any emotion. Really,
it's like living in East Germany. You look
it's
at the border in
ironic.
West Germany; they're having so much fun. Why can't we have that fun?
And it doesn't matter if we go over and have fun because we're still the Vikings.
I just find it
it's going to take a
entertaining
world war for you to get over it.
I just find it entertaining that you said the last time the Lions were favored in Minnesota,
81.
Billy Sims was the running back for the Lions.
My goodness.
It's a while ago.
30 years. 30 years.
Good math.
Thank you.
Cam Newton and Tom Brady going head-to-head here with yardages. We have Tom Brady over under 300.5 yards this week.
Cam Newton or Tom Brady?
As far as yardage goes. They're going head-to-head as far as yardage.
Oh, as far as
they're
yardage.
putting up 400 or 500 yards.
I mean, I
for
think
Tom Brady, it's over 300 this week again.
Who the Patriots play?
Buffalo.
Yeah, over.
Then you have Cam Newton. The over/under is 250.
Over.
Over again.
Under with Newton.
Under with Newton.
Who do they play?
A team yet to be determined. We'll find out Sunday.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with under. You can't throw over 400 yards every NFL game of your career.
I didn't think he was going to go back to 400 again. I didn't think he was going to get to 200 against the Packers, and Packers secondary made him look good. He made himself look good.
Well, yeah, look who Newton's went up against. It's been Green Bay, Arizona. And Green Bay secondary is known to give up passing yards in bulk.
And then this week, Teachers College of Indiana.
Yeah.
So,
who
knows what's going to happen?
The Rulers strike again.
The Rulers.
Yes, coming up here on the Sports Lounge, we're going to talk about somebody that took a ball to the face and somebody that was faking it coming up next.